Hey, everybody, it's Patrick
And I'm Greg.
with the next in our series of Advent Calendar Reveals featuring retro computers that we've all used.
All right, excellent. What do we have today, Patrick?
Okay, today, Greg, we have something that's going to be very unfamiliar with most of us here in the U.S. Few have leaked in, came across the borders, mostly by British patriots who live here, and it's the BBC Micro. A system
Ah,
designed, built entirely in the UK. Oddly, the Timex Sinclair, which we reviewed earlier, was also a UK based system, but this was their version of an IBM PC, you might say, or an Apple II. It was their homegrown first personal computer.
all right, let's check out the commercial that you rounded up for us.
This is the story of Daphne, who longs to be alone with her very own BBC Micro. Alas for Daphne, Acorn have also made it rather attractive to small businessmen.
Hello, Dad.
Tragically, they've even made it irresistible to accountants.
Hello, Uncle Cyril.
How did you just get going?
And sad to say, it's become vital for everyone who needs up-to-the-minute information, thanks to its Presto and teletext adapters. Worst of all, it's absolutely bung-ho for busy administrators. And then there are those visitors who want to use its unearthly scientific potential. Poor Daphne. The BBC microcomputer system is a world leader, and it's still growing.
Okay, that was hilarious. I don't know
What?
where they got these actors and costumes. It almost felt like a Monty Python skit, and maybe it's their humor at play led to how they created the commercial as well.
Yeah, I want to know how many people live in that house. That was quite something. Yeah, the Brits' humor is always a little different. I do appreciate it, and there was a lot of men dressing up as women in British comedy, quite a bit. So
Now, from a system standpoint, I will say part of what generates this is the UK has long had we want to build locally and make our own stuff. And BBC, the company behind this, was a part of that. They had another company called ICL, which would have been their version of digital equipment or DEC. Um, they had a culture of wanting to do this, and that's why the BBC Micro was so popular over there.
I got you. Well, I believe this was an initiative of, I mean, anyone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, an initiative of the education department. They wanted this computer. They put out, and Acorn Electric actually won the bid to make the BBC. So, I mean,
No,
however that goes, I don't know for sure, but it was huge.
yeah. Well, like I said, they have a not has to be made here attitude.
Gotcha.
Um,
Well, this was manufactured from 81 until 94 in obviously various iterations. I'm sure there were various different models, but it only moved 1.5 million units, which I guess is probably big for the UK. It
well,
wouldn't be big for the US.
it would have been big for the U.S., but the U.S. would have had 5 times the population. So,
Right. Um, it used Acorn MOS as its operating system. MOS stood for Machine Operating System. It had a 6502 variant. I think it was the 6512 that it used. Uh, There were several models. You could get a there was a Model A and a Model B. This is the first iteration. The Model A had 16K of RAM. The Model B had 32K of RAM. And then down the road, the B Plus, you could get 64 or 128. And then the Master just came with 128, period. Original pricing, I'm guessing this is for the first model, was 235 pounds for the Model A and 335 pounds for the Model B. And I don't know what that is in today's money or dollars.
Yeah, but okay, if I'm remembering correctly, the dollar to pound ratio back at this launch was either at $5 or at $3. There were two significant $5.80 a pound was one of the benchmarks that lasted for a long while, and then it dropped to like 280 or something, and that lasted for a long while until it.
And right now it's like $1.40.
Yeah. So
I think we had a conversation at lunch that I actually had to look that up for some reason.
yeah, but so that 239 pounds would have been like $1,000 at that time, which would have been expensive.
Which would have been 3,000 today.
Right.
3-ish.
So, but in line with an Apple II or an IBM PC or a TRS-80 Model 3 or something. So, one of the things is, we talk about the pricing is some of these systems had a higher base price, but it included a little bit more. Like the IBM PC that we talked about recently, it had floppy drives in it, or it had a hard drive and it had so much memory in it.
Oh, right.
Whereas, say, a Commodore 64, which we're going to be talking about soon, you got the base machine, you got 64K of RAM, but you had to go buy a floppy drive, you had to go buy a cassette recorder, you had to go buy the other things. So the prices still might be comparative between all these different systems once you fully flush them out. And I think the Micro was like that. At that 16K of RAM, you got no floppy drives, you got no cassette recorder, no
Well, what
motor.
I can tell you for sure is I've never laid a finger on one of these, and I'm willing to bet that you have not either.
No, I've heard about them. That's it.
Yep.
Hope you like this latest reveal on our advent calendar of retro computers. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you want to keep watching, hit that subscribe button. And if you hit the bell, you'll get notified every time we have a new episode.
And if you haven't watched all of the videos in this series, there should be a link on your screen so you can go to our advent calendar playlist and see past episodes.